Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. Let's start our video with another HOA madness that our OP encountered when he bought an apartment. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Seeing people put in their place is so satisfying. A few years ago, I opened a brewery/restaurant/bar with one other business partner. We grossly underestimated how busy we would be after opening, so we both took shifts: dishwashing, bussing, running, hosting, serving. Just what you do when you open a place. One fact that's relevant later, we had an awesome mural on one of our walls. Both of us were on it. It was a busy night. We were slammed and understaffed. I was running the host station and a few tables, doing my best, get a foretop of, from my initial look, jack wagons. Go up to the table, and before I can say a word, one of the party immediately comes at me with this. Customer: we're friends with the owner. He promised he would take care of us. We've been waiting a long time. Me: oh, so you know business partner's name? He's not in tonight, but I'll do my best to help you, pointing to him on the mural. Customer: no, we know the other owner. Close family friends. Me: well, ma'am, there are only two owners. I'm the other one. Points to me on the mural. I've never seen you before, but I'd be happy to take your order when you're ready. They shut up pretty quickly. Left a good tip for the staff. People who come in and actually know the owner don't expect free crap. They come in wanting to see and talk to their friend and support their business. And our second story. Friday night in a Scottish pub. Fridays are our busiest night of the week. White collars are finished with their week, and at 5:30, everyone's at their local pub for a pint. It's a crazy shift to work, but can sometimes be quite fun. Last week was particularly memorable, though. Around 6 p.m., in comes this man with his date, both in their 50s, looking a bit lost. The man tells me they're here for drinks, so I direct them to a table, which was miraculously empty, and when he asks, I name all the lagers we have on draft. He doesn't know any of them, and the woman, who didn't even greet me, looks kind of overwhelmed by the crowd. That and the accent, I realize they're not from around here. My tables are waiting, but no matter. I know something about being a tourist in a foreign country, so I decided to try and be a kind and helpful waitress. I try detailing each of the beers to the man and his date, but he cuts me halfway through and starts criticizing me for my choice of vocabulary. Apparently, lagers aren't beers. After giving me a scathing glare like I'm the stupidest idiot on the planet, he storms off towards the bar to have a look at the taps. Since the woman's still ignoring me, poor thing, really looked quite scared by all the loud and drunk Scotsmen, I follow the man to try and get his order, and order he does. He snaps the name of a random beer at me before going back to his table. Okay. Irritated, I go to the bar to get him his drink. My manager, seeing my face, asks me what's wrong, and I quickly tell him, upon which he tells me I could just throw the guy out, but I decide to give the couple one last chance and take the pint to their table. The man takes the drink, gives me the money. At that point, he's even almost polite, and I think the whole affair is over. But no. 2 minutes later, I'm on my way to serving another round of the table of regulars when the man from before stomps up to me with his full pint glass and shoves it in my face. Making sure he's in perfect view of his date, he shouts, it was really quite loud in the pub. I guess he wanted to make sure he'd be heard. It's impossible to drink with this glass. Look at that. It's all narrow at the top. That's completely impractical. Change it to a normal pint glass so we can actually drink this. I don't know what you're doing. This is ridiculous. I want a normal glass so I can drink this. What were you thinking? Yeah, what was I thinking? It's not like the glasses are sent along with the casks by the company who brews the beer. And it's not like I serve dozens of those very same pints in those very same glasses every week. And obviously, who else than me, the waitress, could have blown these glasses with my very own breath in order to make it difficult for honest customers to drink their pint? Oh wait, no, I designed these stupid glasses myself so arrogant men could show off to their dates by putting down the waitress for no good reason. Honestly, what was I thinking? Now, if I were a kinder person, I would have thrown him out myself. Or even I would have told my manager, a very coldly polite man, so he could take care of it. Instead, I went up to one of the owners of the pub who just finished her shift. She's a tiny 5'0" woman. She looks like she could be blown away by a breeze. And she has the best Glaswegian accent and mean temper. She's also quite protective of her waitresses. I stood back and watched, as did most of the pub actually, as my tiny and usually very friendly boss verbally tore the man a new one, nearly dumped the content of his pint on his head before promptly seeing the humiliated bloke and the date out the door. I'm curious as to what sort of glass he was complaining about. I like interesting glasses. And our next story. Because screw you, that's why. It's a crappy job market these days, and I work my butt off every day to try and prove that I'm worth keeping. But the cuts keep happening. The one guy I work with, let's call him Lazy B. Lazy B will come bursting through the door 5 minutes late, and depending on his mood, will expect everyone to have crap ready for him. If there's a print-off, he wants it. If there's a meeting he needs to attend, he will text me as, ask me to get the projector and laptop set up for him, crap like that. Lazy B also leaves early about 75% of the time. He'll take a meeting that supposedly gets out at 2 p.m. We're allowed to leave at 2:30. But I know this meeting usually gets out at 1:45, giving most people enough time to get back to the office and punch out properly. Not Lazy B, he just leaves from the meeting and gets paid for staying until 2:30. It drives me effing insane. Lazy B will sit at his computer, we share an office, and watch YouTube clips of video games and sports and turn the effing radio on some effing sports channel while I'm working. He knows the sound our boss makes, he's heavy-set, and will shut it down when he hears him coming down the hall. Finally, Lazy B is just effing lazy. On top of all the crap he pulls, he simply does as little as effing possible, but he'll jump all over my business and take my projects, I thought I was helping, dude, and try and take them over. Then get passive-aggressive mad if I call him out on his crap. Urgh. So today, Lazy B calls up saying he's taking a personal day, whatever, and Lazy B expects me to get the laptop set up for his meeting tomorrow. So FM, I set it up, but I also noticed the laptop won't start until 7 updates have been completed. I'm not a computer tech, but I don't think this laptop will work until the updates are complete, because Lazy B last week couldn't run his meeting because the laptop needed to update, and in frustration, Lazy B just closed the laptop down and did the meeting without the computer. This meeting, he has to have the computer, and after I opened up the laptop to install it for him, I noticed there were still 7 updates to install, so I closed the computer. Tomorrow, without fail, he'll be running behind, everyone will be waiting, happens all the time, and when he opens the computer, he'll see the laptop needs to install 7 updates. I could have done it myself today, but F him. The branch manager and client are going to be at that meeting tomorrow as well. Update. So nothing really dramatic happened. Lazy B showed up late and flustered as usual, and I had to go to a different meeting, so I couldn't stick around. I asked some of my other co-workers what happened at the meeting. All they said was Lazy B set up the laptop really quickly, but then was stalled because of the updates. The branch manager and client showed up late to the meeting, so they didn't have to wait as long as the rest of the group for the laptop to install the updates. It's the usual story. Lazy B always manages to just slide under the radar. Some people have made the comment that Lazy B is really the smart one here and I'm the pawn. This is becoming increasingly more obvious, and I guess it's just telling of how crappy the office world can be sometimes. I'd like to think I could get another job where hard work, dedication, innovation, and professionalism was rewarded, but I'm having my doubts. And our last story. HOA doesn't want to pay for repairs. Some context. I live in North Carolina. I bought this condo in a 14-unit building in 2022 through a normal conventional loan. They had people in here late 2021, shortly after I moved in, documenting damage from a hurricane that happened in 2018 to use for their claim, taking 3D pictures of each room, checking windows, running video scopes in the walls to check for mold, wall moisture, moisture barrier, etc. They got about $3 million from the insurance claim and started by replacing roofs, storm drains, mailboxes, painting, and external things. Then they sent an email out to send them any remaining internal repairs that still needed done from the hurricane. My unit had water in it in 2018. They sent someone in to cut the bottom 18 inches of drywall out, dry out the place, and replace that drywall. Whoever they had do it just free-handed the corners with no bead and did a terrible, sloppy putty job, so you can see the seam on every wall and the corners look like Play-Doh. I submitted this for repair. They sent a guy to quote the job, Then they sent the HOA board members in to look at the unit. The two older ladies from the board said that to do it right, there would be a lot of work and repainting and that the job is bigger than they want to do. They even asked if my insurance would paint it, so they didn't have to. They also learned at that time that I didn't live in the unit during the storm. When I followed up a few days later, they said, unfortunately, it looks like we don't have to do your repairs after talking to our lawyers. Since you bought the condo as is, you took ownership of the previous poorly done repairs. So they essentially are saying, we only have to spend this money to fix your unit if you own since 2018 and were here during the hurricane. Mind you, several of the units have changed hands in 4 years. I don't understand how me purchasing the unit would absolve the HOA from their responsibilities. I didn't sign anything assuming financial responsibility for the drywall repairs. I talked to my realtor and the closing/title lawyer. They said they don't think that makes sense, but neither does litigation work. The HOA isn't a party to the home purchase. That's a contract between buyer and seller. They use my unit to inflate their insurance claim and are not trying to use money from the claim to make adequate repairs, which I've read could be property insurance fraud. I sent them an email back explaining that other lawyers and the realtor did not agree, and they sent me an email telling me they would have someone else do the work. Then 2 days later, they want their attorney to talk to mine before proceeding. I don't really want to incur lawyer fees because they don't want to do the right thing and they want to pocket the money, but I'd love to have the drywall fixed. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.